Broncos country, we welcome the Broncos offseason, man. It's already getting started. It's already getting heated. We got to start talking about it. Sean Payton's talking about it. George Payton's talking about it. Heck, the Walter Penner Group is talking about it. We're going to talk about it right here on the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast, starting right about now. Well, Broncos fans, just like that, the offseason is upon us, man. It's crazy. The season ends, and it ends abruptly for everybody, typically, unless you've won that Super Bowl and you're hoisting that trophy. But here we are. My name is Keith Brugman. I'm part of the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We're brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network. This is the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. And we have an amazing sponsor named Morgan Trinkets. And I'm not alone this evening, man. I got my good friend, my fellow horseman. You know him. You love him. He is the judge, Mr. Jody Moncrief. Welcome in, Judge. How you doing today, man?
What's up, everyone? Still not over Sunday's loss, but it is what it is. Really wish we had Bo, because I think we'd be all talking about Super Bowl 60.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough to move on, man. It was not the way we wanted to end a season. You know, we had to rely on our backup quarterback. Our defense, let's face it, played amazing, and there was a lot of disappointment in the locker room afterwards. But even like Sean Payton said, not a lot of words that you can give this team other than you love them, and you fell short. So it's all about taking this as fuel to maybe into the next season for a lot of these players. Did want to get to one thing right off the bat, man. Jody, the judge, does Bo Nix have a predisposition for an ankle injury that was looming and coming down the pipe or not? Because Sean Payton says that was what was the case, but Bo Nix says, I don't think so. And what do you play into all this little talk back and forth now to start off our offseason as well between our quarterback and our head coach?
I was asked this earlier. I think it's mountain out of a molehill.
Okay.
Sean Payton, I don't know how he said it. I know once that I guess I'll stop trying to be funny. And I don't know if he was kind of cracking jokes at it, because he's cracked jokes at it already. If I knew that this was going to be whatever his third or fourth ankle surgery, I probably wouldn't have drafted the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it just goes into that. I think it's just him cracking jokes. Maybe Bo took it the wrong way. I mean, even when they showed him Sunday during the game, he didn't look all that enthused to be there. You could tell he just wasn't feeling it. Or that's kind of the vibe I got when they showed him on camera. I mean, he didn't look very happy.
Guy just got out of ankle surgery, ended his season. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Maybe we're making mountains out of molehills. I don't know.
I think there's plenty of other topics or other things that are going on this than to worry about whether he's got a pre-existing condition or not.
Okay.
Because really, to be honest, I could care less. I mean, the ankle's fixed and he's going to be ready come OTAs, and that's it.
Jody's focused. He's ready. He just wants to get him back, get him out there. Never mind the nonsense. That's what the judge says. Never mind the nonsense. I guess he'd be throwing this out as any particular evidence towards anything if he was the judge. I got to get to Michael Ronquillo in a couple of comments in here, because first, he was the very, very, very first commenter and posse member to come in over on YouTube saying, hit those thumbs up and subscribe to the Rocky Mountain Sports Network on YouTube. Go Bo Broncos. Blue and orange hearts, mile high salute. And we salute you, Michael, always a fantastic supporter of our shows. And yeah, we would love a lot of support over there on the YouTube channel as we continue to grow. Facebook has been fantastic, but we'll continue to try to grow that YouTube side of things. And Michael Ronquillo, speaking of the Facebook side, came in dropping some stars over on Facebook, supporting us there, saying, good evening, Keith and Jody, Gobo Broncos over there. Also orange and blue hearts in the mile high salute. So we salute you again, Michael. Thank you so much, man. Got to get to this news because Michael's bringing this up as well, and this was hot on the agenda. Much like last year, when we saw Sean Payton address the media after the season and then walk off the podium, and hours later, last year, it was Ben Kotwika who got his walking papers. This year, maybe a little bit more significant, I guess, as far as the position is concerned. But as Michael's saying right here, it was Mr. Lombardi that got his walking papers. Joe Lombardi that got his walking papers just hours after the last press conference by Sean Payton. Kind of surprising, man. Joe Lombardi, long time assistant coach and assistant with Sean Payton.
15 years.
He ends up getting the axe. Yeah, 15 years in total. But were you surprised by this? And then we'll start getting into potential replacements and all of that conversation as well, my friend.
I'm like on the fence. I'm surprised because of how long Joe Lombardi's been his right-hand man. But I'm also not surprised kind of the way the offense really kind of sputtered all year. Yes, I know Payton calls plays, but he's not in all the offensive meetings because he's got to be in different places as the head coach, and Joe Lombardi's leading a lot of that stuff. And I don't know if he kind of feels that it falls stale because of that. I don't know. I just thought, even going back to when they hired him, I thought it was kind of a weird hire, in my opinion. But that's just me.
I knew you weren't 100% on board with this hire. Let's just put it that way. You weren't jumping up and down saying, "Oh my goodness, we got Joe Lombardi! Thank goodness."
But I mean, it was pretty. It made a lot of sense.
Yeah, did make a lot of sense. But in the end, do you feel like he's the scapegoat? Do you think he was the fall guy in the Broncos falling short? There was a couple other coaches let go, as Michael's reporting. Kerry Colbert, wide receiver coach, and that was kind of hinted towards when Sean Payton said that he thought we had the right guys. They just need to know how to catch the ball, basically, in his podium speech.
Well, I think somebody's been bringing that up for a long while on this podcast, that drops are like a massive problem. I mean,
that's fair. That's fair. Let's give him his flowers. Jody, you've been preaching, my friend.
When you have over 50 drops, counting the Buffalo game, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, I actually looked tonight. Kansas City, I think, was third with 30 drops. I mean, I think you finished the season. I didn't see what they ended up with last week, but I think they had 51 drops with Bo at quarterback. So when you almost doubled up the third place team, that's not okay.
It's not where you want to keep up with your competition.
I mean, you're paying Cortland Sutton almost $100 million, and he led this team in drops. I mean, granted, he gets the most targets, but that's still not okay.
Yeah. Addison Lynch, cornerbacks coach, was let go as well. We could talk a little bit about that, but I think we really want to concentrate really on this offensive coordinator, and I guess for a little bit of it, the wide receivers coach, because I did think it plays a lot. Roy's coming in and says, "Hey there, Possum. Well, with Stiddy in 3 years in the system, he still stinks, barring that bad fourth down call." The one thing I would say to that, and we kind of alluded to it, what we were just talking about right here, man. I mean, I know it wasn't perfect throw by Jarrett Stidham, but you also are a number one receiver. That was a big third down. Cortland Sutton makes that catch. Who knows what happens after that? Then we also saw little Jordan Humphrey in a ball that was basically thrown up high. He
Hit
needs
him
to
right
go
in the
up there,
chest.
and he hits him right in the chest. He needs to go up there and get that ball. Another big third down that fell short, and not because of Jarrett Stidham. You need it. Sean Payton talked about it all week leading up to this game. He's not worried about Jarrett Stidham. He's worried about all the other guys doing what they need to do in this game. Those are two instances where I don't think that the Broncos really helped Jarrett Stidham out, and did what they needed to do in this game.
I have a couple things on
Michael
that.
Ronquillo just says a couple of just hellos real quick, man. Michael Ronquillo says the Sean Payton Bo Nix is just the media's trying to start something, kind of alluding to what you're saying. Adam and Kayla also says, hey, let's go Broncos. The future is so bright. Look at our cap space and our draft picks. We'll be looking into all of that as well in the future, but a lot of free agents that we need to get taken care of. That's probably a future episode. But Adam, Kayla, good to see you. Sorry the AFC Championship game didn't work out for you. I know you had tickets. You were out there. I was really hoping that a little bit of magic from you would bring home a victory for us. But nonetheless, here we are. You wanted to bring up another you had something else you wanted to bring up. I'm sorry, my friend.
A couple things. I heard some people break down the play. Stidham fumbled, backwards pass, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you go back and look at it. He was drifting backwards, but that was a screen pass. That's what a quarterback's supposed to do. And if you go watch Tyler Bidet, he went behind where he should have went under. And if he goes under, that's wide open, and that's probably going to be a home run play because it's wide open if he gets it there. So you can blame Stidham for backpedaling, whatever. And I'll take Stidham at his word because he hadn't played in 2 years. That guy got on him a lot quicker than what he expected, and I can see that. But that was, he probably should know to self-sack there, but that's on Bidet. He messed that play up. If he just runs it right, that's a big time play. And then I had one on the other side. We talked all week that we thought Stidham was a better pocket passer and was going to hang in there longer and make throws and let him develop. I thought he bailed way early, and he was doing the coming out of the rolling, like Bo Nix when he's at his worst, rolling out of the back and not stepping up in the pocket. I thought he did that a lot in this game. And I mean, I don't know if that's just not getting playing time or what, but I thought he was going to be more in the pocket. He was rolling out quick, in my opinion.
Wish I could say that his offensive line helped him a lot and didn't allow a lot of pressure on him, but it wasn't the best offensive line performance.
No, Quinn Miners, I thought, played horrible. All-pro. He's arguably the best right guard in football, and he arguably probably had one of his worst games ever.
I agree, man. Quite honestly, the I guess the locker room tape coming from our competition in the Patriots before and after was not what we wanted to hear on Quinn Miners, and it was part of all of what went wrong in the final game, man. But not to digress out of that, but I do want to get into the comments here just really quickly because they're taking us in a little bit different direction. First and foremost, a horseman that might be joining us here at the end of our program here to break down a little bit of what we should be looking at here in the near future. But he's coming in and saying, good evening, Keith and Jody, Michael, and the posse. Good to see everyone braving the elements. For those of you out there, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick's appreciating you being keyboard warriors even in these cold times. Hey man, I gotta say, man, you could be out there shoveling snow or stoking up the fire or just huddling around those loved ones for some of these guys. I gotta hit a couple. One is Glenn. He says, good afternoon, Keith and Jody, posse, Bronc, mile high salute to everyone out there. It's off-season time. He says, what free agent wide receiver do you want to target? I feel to get the top line guys, we have to trade up to be between 10 and 20. Could be costly. Waddle's contract, there is two this year is under 2 million. Jumps in 27, 28. Jefferson is 24 base plus bonuses that go up to 38. Vikings have a big cap hit. Also, just to kind of go along with that, Victor's coming in and he's saying, I want George Pickens added to this offseason.
Me
So
too.
lots of talk around wide receiver. Judge is weighing in on Victor's comment right away, man. He's all about George Pickens. Tell me about George Pickens. What do you think it'll take to get him here? And your thoughts about what he'd bring to this offense then?
Money, because he's a free agent. You're not going to have to give up nothing to Dallas.
Okay. Money though. Money
this
is part of it though.
I had this conversation earlier today as well. For George Pickens, it's really looking at both sides. You can stay in Dallas and play in the number one offense. You probably are not a true number one. You're 1A there with CD there. Here you come in and you probably not probably you're definitely the number one wide receiver. You supplant. You're better than Sutton. You supplant him. But how close is Dallas? Not really. I mean, they got a lot of work to do on their defense. So, if you come here, you're a lot closer. But how do you feel about this? Does it fit you? You've seen a lot of inconsistencies, but he also seen it up firsthand. Put whatever they put on him, 48. So when it's clicking, it's clicking. But he's a diva, so I don't know where he's at. Does he want whatever he had 150 catches, or is that all he cares about, or does he want a shot at a ring?
Royce has his concern. Well, more than concern. He says, "Heck no, heck no, George. Bad locker room guy." It's been said now more than once. Roy Osborne's his thoughts over on Facebook.
And I'll tell you why I don't think that's a problem.
Victor's thoughts, he says, just needs to be in the right locker room.
Exactly. And I think Sean Payton is that guy. I mean, go look at Dre Greenlaw, what he said this week about how much different it was coming from San Francisco to here. Sean Payton's a grinder, 6 on, 1 off. Sean Payton's going to grind. I mean, Sean Payton fired 3. You just went 15-3 and made it to the AFC Championship game, and with your backup, and he just fired 3 coaches the next day. So,
yep.
I mean, he's taking this serious. And by all accounts, I mean, you can listen to Sean Payton. You can listen to a lot of guys. This locker room's tight. There's no beef like there was when Russ was here and Hackett and that type of stuff. None of that's here. And Sean Payton ain't going to put up with that. So I don't think that he would be a problem. Or if he was a problem, Sean Payton would nip that really quick.
Victor's also in for maybe an Alec Pierce. So that's a possibility, of thoughts that could be floating out there. I did want to get back because the posse was kind of commenting on this as well. We were talking about, obviously, Joe Lombardi letting go. Keith Stober's coming in over on Facebook. Is it to promote Joe Webb? Ian Rappaport, let's go full circle. By the way, Ian Rappaport, if you're out there, I got to issue an apology. First Denver Broncos training camp, I saw Ian Rappaport as he was reporting to training camp. Of course, everybody was out there to cover Russell Wilson's arrival to Denver. And as I'm out there, I see him walking across the parking lot. I'm shouting out to him and shouting out to Ian Rappaport, and he is not giving me the time of day until finally he turns and kind of gives me just a little bit of a wave and I guess a nod, you could say. It probably would have been better if I would have been calling him by his name and not calling him Michael Rappaport, actor Michael Rappaport instead of Ian Rappaport. So, Ian, I apologize. I was caught up in the moment and didn't mean to
That's funny.
call you by your wrong name. Ian, I appreciate you. Ian Rappaport comes out and he says Joe Brady on the list of guys that Sean Payton wanted to bring in as a potential replacement for Joe Lombardi and potentially was willing to give up play calling duties. Joe Lombardi, obviously no longer a candidate. He's going to stay in Buffalo and take the head coaching position there. But it brings up the question that Keith Stober's talking about. Is this a promotion for Davis Webb now to offensive coordinator, probably leading candidate? And if so, does the play calling that Sean Payton maybe was willing to give up for a Joe Brady also follow for Davis Webb in this particular situation? What are your thoughts on that, my friend?
I think it's really all up to Davis Webb. How hard does he push? Even if he gets offered the job in the same way that Joe Lombardi had it, how hard does he push to? I want play calling duties.
Because he's a finalist candidate, I believe, for the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's what I was going to say. What leverage does he have? Raiders, it sounds like they're Giants, I think I seen for OC. What backing does he have to say, hey, I have this behind me. If you don't give me this, I'm out of here. I've heard other shows and things bring up, does he also say, I want to be coach in waiting here? I mean, what's Sean Payton, 62, 63? How much time does he have? I mean, is that sped up if, say, next year we win a ring? Is that sped up where he says goodbye? So,
yeah.
I mean, so it matters. And then the Joe Brady thing, I mean, makes sense. I mean, he had Joe Brady on his staff in New Orleans, so they've worked together. And if you listen to Sean Payton's press conference, I mean, he kind of hinted at some different things about getting plays in and, maybe he's a little out of touch on some different stuff. So, I mean, it's obviously floating around, and you could see it even Stidham. And obviously we've seen it with Bo Nix all year. I mean, they were frustrated multiple times, get the play in, that type of thing. And he said it, having a play ready to go before the next play's off and different things. He's not there. And so, I mean, at what point does this, if it's not him, does someone higher up force it maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Because
I don't foresee that. Who's higher up that's going to force it? It's not George Payton. It's not going to be the Walter Penner group. I think they've actually put this into Sean Payton's hands. It's going to be up to him.
But there's just, like he said, some things that he can see, even second guessing the play call he made, some on that fourth down, just some things. But he's also
go ahead.
Yeah, he's also called out a lot of things that he's done well here that I think back him as he's a great CEO type. I mean, you can take Greenlaw for what he said, but look at San Francisco, how hurt they were, and they're doing this light training. Look at Hackett, this light training, and they're hurt. How many guys is Denver? I mean, they lost some guys there throughout the season, but the last 2 years, they lost Singleton, I think, last year, and Brandon Jones. Other than that, you were basically healthy. And I'll exclude Dobbins because he's hurt every year. He's hurt everywhere he's been. You've been healthy. So, I mean, he's got some things that back him where he's a great, in my opinion, CEO, can run that type of thing, but he may have to step back just for some different things. Is it stale? This was the first game that I seen in a very long time that they ran motion on almost every play. And it was just really dummy motion, are they in man or are they in zone to help Stidham out?
Yep.
But do you see teams? You hear it all the time, eye candy and this different stuff. Denver didn't do that.
It's true. I think that there is a potential of him actually giving up the play calling. I think of what you look at what a head coach is asked to do in this league and what Sean Payton's asked to do. Like you said, Sean Payton's a hands-on coach. He's managing from what music they're playing over the loudspeaker to the grass on the field to all aspects of this team, and then to add on the fact that now he's in charge of play calling and deciding whether we're going on for it on fourth down and what the player personnel is going to be and what plays we're going to do. And if we're going to do this play, then what's the secondary call before it gets out there? And should we measure for a measurement? Do we have to worry about that? And all these parts and pieces that could be handed off. Phil McLaughlin's trying to figure out why Joe Lombardi's let go. I do think that this is a potential for Davis Webb to get elevated. I think that Davis Webb, his scouting, what he brings to this team, has been, quite honestly, maybe a little bit better than what Joe Lombardi's been bringing to Sean Payton. And there's got to be a future. And I think they really have something. Heck, he was in the back of an Uber where he's like, basically, what are we doing? How come we're letting Davis Webb go out the door? Called him back in, brought him back in, hired him on the spot. Davis Webb is very important, I think, to Sean Payton. I could see him handing off the reins in the near future because it only makes sense. And honestly, if I was thinking about this today, here's the Walter Penner Group, one of the largest corporations in the world. The one thing that I know is a good manager, what he does is he makes himself completely replaceable, meaning everybody below him can do his job because that's what he's put around him. I think at some point you got to hand off the reins. I think at some point Davis Webb might be able to take that up and run with it. And if not, you might be seeing Davis Webb twice a year as a Las Vegas Raider head coach as well. I think it's all in the balance right now.
What would be interesting to me is when he called plays in the preseason and Stidham, I think it was the game Stidham balled out. And they got in quick and different things. How does the play sound to Stidham? If you go watch clips of Sean Payton's, they're a 15-second long play call, and there's a clip on YouTube of Chase Daniels. He breaks it down, and it's like 30 words it's like a 30-word play call. It's ridiculous.
Well, not only that, but this is the last thing I'll say on this, man. I'm going to hit our sponsor, and then we got to get into a few other things as well. For me, every time you see Bo Nix or Jarrett Stidham get off the field, the first guy that they sit down with and the first guy that they're going over all the plays with is Davis Webb.
And that's what I was going to say. You said important to Sean Payton. I think it's more important to Bo Nix.
Yeah.
That's been Bo Nix's guy from day one. And you can elevate him to a point, because to me, this didn't. We've seen Sean McVay, his rise, and it was quick, but he went from position to, I think he was tight end. He called plays for a couple of years and then got the head coaching job. Someone that just barely retired. He's been a quarterback's coach 3 years, and now he's getting a head coaching job. It's just such a rise. And you see it with guys sometimes. I know that the money is hard to pass up, but it also can ruin your career. You fail so miserably. Look at Adam Gase. He's out of football because he took a horrible head coaching job, and look what it did to him.
Yeah, you better be in love with Mendoza if you're going to be taking that job down with the Raiders. That's all I got to say.
And that's what I was thinking too. If you Mendoza is not, to me, he's probably a lock first round or first pick, but he is not the John Elway, Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence, these guys that are like can't miss type guys. He is, to me, like the most 50-50 guy that easily could fail, and you could easily see that. And if your quarterback fails, Davis Webb is failing. And where are you at to get and I've said the same thing with VJ. he failed once as a head coach. So don't just go get another head coaching job just to get it.
Mm-hmm.
You've you've built this D up and you've built your resume up. Pick what fits you the best. What puts you in the best position to succeed, not just get one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You gotta maximize your opportunities. You don't know how many you're gonna get. And the first ones can be pivotal to your next steps.
Especially because they're so young. I mean, like Todd Munkins, it makes sense. I mean, he's 60 some years old. When's the next chance he's going to get at a head coaching job?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that makes sense to take Cleveland. But these guys that are so young, if you don't have something and you're in the total rebuild like the Raiders, they're just such a mess, in my opinion. If Fernando Mendoza fails, which very well could happen, you're failing with him. And then
100%.
what?
We'll get into a
Yeah.
lot more of the draft coverage as things go on and Mendoza, but Davis Webb obviously a big piece. We have to really pick up the pace, though. We got a lot of stuff to get to that I wanted to get to in this, and looks like the chat wanted to get to as well. First thing I want to get to, though, is our amazing sponsor, Morgan Trinkets. They've been sponsoring the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast, Rocky Mountain Sports Network, for quite some time. They've been selling Southwest jewelry, Southwest pottery, and estate gold at wholesale prices for over 35 years. Nationwide company once upon a time. Now they're just in your backyard, northern Colorado, southern Wyoming, as well as online. As far as northern Colorado, southern Wyoming, I got a great opportunity for you to check them out. Right out there at the Loveland Fairgrounds, January 31st. That's this Saturday. You need to check them out. They're going to be out there for the Ultimate Garage Sale. That's the Ultimate Garage Sale, Loveland, Colorado, this Saturday, January 31st. Check out Morgan Trinkets for all their Southwest jewelry, Southwest pottery, estate gold at wholesale prices. But also, they are available on Etsy. Just type in Morgan Trinkets Co. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. Or you can check them out on eBay as well. Type in Pearl Heat over on eBay. Pearl Heat is the vendor over there. Morgan Trinkets Co. over on Etsy. And like I said, make sure you check them out at the Loveland Fairgrounds Ultimate Garage Sale, January 31st. A couple of the ones that I wanted to get to just really quick, man. Worst case scenario, Joe Lombardi is gone now. Davis Webb doesn't come to the Denver Broncos. Want to get your thoughts on Zach Strief as a potential candidate, offensive line guru, I guess you could say, offensive run game coordinator from 2023 until present as of right now for Zach Strief. Obviously, it was with the Saints as well. Offensive line coach 2021, 2022 with Sean Payton, or hired by Sean Payton. Your thoughts around Zach Strief as a potential offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos if we don't get Davis Webb?
I think he fits the role of Joe Lombardi with not calling plays, but he's a little bit younger. He's more of a whatever you want to call a player's coach. He kind of fits in a little more with the locker room. I mean, Sean Payton's 62, Joe Lombardi's 50 some years old, and you got a locker room full of 20-year-old guys. It's hard sometimes to relate. So he fits that role. I think, I mean, he's the assistant head coach here, so it makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. The other guy that I think on this staff that probably has a real chance at it is another guy that's been his OC for a long time, is Pete Carmichael. I think that's the other guy. But I think this really comes down, I've heard mixed baggage. If it's a wide open and they're going to go after whatever, if it's a wide open search, I'm not sure who the name is out there that you're going to go get, because like they've said, it's a Monday through Saturday job. You're not calling plays on Sunday unless it happens to be like a Davis Webb or somebody that's been in the system that knows it, that can just tweak little things like we talked about earlier. Other than that, I can't see him like a Cliff Kingsbury or somebody that's going to want to switch up the whole offense. I can't see that.
I got one name to just keep on the radar, and then we'll move on. Guy that's been in the building before for the Denver Broncos under Sean Payton, but took a different role with the Detroit Lions, David Shaw, potentially maybe coming back and being an offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. Of course, that relationship, like I said, more in the executive role with the Denver Broncos, but obviously has coaching backgrounds, led Stanford for years and years, went to the Lions and helped them out. Potentially, maybe he has an opportunity to come back and be an offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. That's one that I would keep an eye out for.
The other name I would say real quick, and I thought you were going to go there when you said Lions, is Johnny Morton. He left and was their OC. He got fired. He was here. He was kind of a consultant for the Buffalo game. And it sounds like he was one of the big advocates for that Frank Crum play that they just never called in Detroit. So that would be another guy.
Yeah. Also be wondering if the exiting of Kerry Colbert, wide receivers coach, if you could get Johnny Morton to take that role since he's no longer out there and you don't have to try to upgrade his position. I got to get to this though, man. The posse have been talking about this and I want to get to it as well, man. I want to talk about just maybe grading, quick grades, man. Spend 15 seconds or less because I got like 8 guys, or like not 8 guys. I got like almost I don't know, 13 guys I want to get to in all of this. So it can't go long, man. First, I want you to grade the free agents, man, and we can both go through this and everybody go ahead and chime in. We can talk about if any of these guys are eligible to come back, whether we want to do so as well. Talanoa Hufanga, how would you grade Talanoa Hufanga as far as a free agent pickup in this last offseason?
Well, this is the easiest one for me, A+.
Yeah.
A second team All-Pro. I mean, he did everything, stayed healthy this year. That's another boast of what Sean Payton's doing right. Yeah, A+. Everything he did was awesome this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, lots of grades coming in. A- from Kenny, A from Rodney, A from Phil, A from Glenn Ashley coming in here. Thanks everyone for playing along, and I apologize for everybody that I'm trying to get caught up on comments. I had to just scroll at some point. I know I'll try to get back to some of these as well. Dre Greenlaw, where are you going to put Dre Greenlaw? Also, I would go A on Talanoa Hufanga. Where are you putting Dre Greenlaw?
I think I'm going to give it an incomplete just because he came in hurt. They held him out a little bit extra at the beginning. I thought he played all right when he first came back and then got hurt again. They held him out extra to get him ready for the playoff game. Then I thought he played all right the last 2 games, but I think next year's the year just because he's going into the offseason healthy, which he was not when he came here. So,
yeah, Rodney's coming in with a C. Kenny's got a B-. The injuries dropped his grade. Phil McLaughlin's coming in with a C. I was going to be right there. I'm not going to give him an incomplete. I think when he was on the field, I would go ahead and grade him out as probably around a C+. I would like to see more from him. I'd like to think that he's capable of more than what I saw. And then injuries need to come into that grade a little bit as well. I think C+ makes a lot of sense. Michael Ronquillo is also given an A to Talanoa Hufanga.
See, I'd love to hear someone ask him what percentage he was healthy. I know they set him out extra towards the end of the season, but was he 100% at the end of the season, and is he 90? Where's he at?
Yeah. We'll find out, and maybe we'll find out when he's feeling better in the next season. Greenlaw gets a B- on what he did, 2 minute injuries, and needs to prove it in 2026, 2027, says Glenn. And Dre Greenlaw gets a C from Michael Ronquillo. Next one on the list, my friend, Evan Ingram came to town. Joker or joke's on us, man? How do you feel about the grade on Evan Ingram?
This one's probably the hardest one for me because if you go and look at his overall numbers, I mean, I think he had like 50 catches, almost 500 yards. I mean, that blows away what you've gotten from tight end production for how long?
Fair.
Since Julius Thomas, probably. So, but for all the hype, the Joker, and he's going to do this and do that. I mean, he had 1 touchdown. He didn't show up in the playoffs. He didn't really do anything. So it's like a mixed bags for me, I guess. What were your expectations to what you've been getting from that position? So B minus for me, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a little bit mixed on it as well. Evan Ingram, like you said, produced more than what we've probably seen, but certainly not up to the hype. But then I also bring in the fact that he's going on year 11, 12 in the league. Regardless, man, I mean, this is a position, we'll maybe get to this as well, a position of upgrade probably needed in the very near future. Certainly didn't help us in that regard. I would go ahead and I'm going to give him I don't know, a C minus, D plus. I mean, we're right in there. D minus comes in Rodney Garcia. D
Good.
says Keith underperformed. Tight end Evan Ingram gets an F from Michael Ronquillo, and Evan Ingram gets a D. Cut his butt, and he can't block, and he was poor in the
See, the
playoffs.
bad
Says
part
Glenn
about
Nash.
that is he's like 12 million on the books next year. It's like he's really not feasible
Free
to
and
cut
clear.
him.
Yeah.
But I'm also
Yep.
like, what's better for this team, Evan Ingram or Adam Troutman? And I mean, that's a name that where has he been for the last 10 weeks? Or I have heard nothing of Adam Troutman. I mean, he made some plays last year. He's done nothing.
All right. I've gotten through 3 names. I've got like 10 more to go. Maybe less. J.K. Dobbins is next on the list, my friend. You already used one incomplete. Are you giving me a second one here?
No, he was the solid A for me. I mean, he was everything expected. He was balling out till he got hurt, and that was expected as well. And the injury probably might be the best thing for Denver because now you can probably bring him back on a very cheap deal again. But you're gonna have to commit to another solid running back, and it can't be these guys that are currently on the roster. And maybe him actually splitting time with someone that's a legit running back could help his career or help him stay healthy. But for me, I mean, when he played, he was a solid A.
I can't go there, man. I can't go there. Not for a guy that I don't even know if I'm going to bring back to this roster next year. Not for a guy that's looking now for his 4th contract as a running back in the league. I can't give him an A. I got to give him, I don't know, a B minus. I mean, in order, your best ability is your availability, and right now, no one can trust J.K. Dobbins to stay healthy. It doesn't matter if you're the Baltimore Ravens, the Chargers, the Broncos. I would love to be higher on Dobbins, but we need to figure out something else when it comes to running back. That brings me to the free
And
agent.
then remember this too, real quick. I mean, you're only paying him $2 million. I mean, for
Sure.
what you got out of him when he got hurt, he was the second leading rusher in the NFL.
Great, but he couldn't finish. He wasn't there down the stretch. He wasn't there for you in the playoffs. He couldn't help get you over the hump.
That's where I'm at. If you bring him,
it's only as good as how far it can take you.
if you bring him back, he can't be your one. He has to maybe be your 3, if that makes sense. And
Sure.
and 3 of J.K. Dobbins is light years ahead of a 3 of Tyler Bidet.
All right, we might get into running backs here in a second, man. I'm going to switch over, man. Thanks for everyone who's been playing along. Roy wants J.K. Don. He's never played a whole season in his entire career. I'm going to go over to the draft, man. First round draft pick. I want your grades on this. Jahdae Barron. How are you feeling about Jahdae Barron as our first round draft pick last year, given this team?
Since he hardly played, really, B minus, I guess. And I think the best thing that he did was light a fire under Jaquan McMillan, and because how many people were on here saying there's your new slot corner, and now I think it would be the most craziest thing to get rid of Jaquan.
Yeah. I didn't use an incomplete, but it's the one guy that, we talk about Sean Payton from time to time. By the way, B minus from Phil. Paul gives him a D. Kenny says C, nothing special for a first round pick.
I will say the pick itself on defense, when and I've said this many times, you probably don't have a top 20 guy at any position, running back, wide receiver, any of that, and you went out and drafted your first round pick. It's not a starter. It's probably an F pick. When there were, I mean, you could have helped this run game so much. Henderson, Judkins, different things. So the player probably a B minus, but the pick F
Hmm.
for what this team needed.
Yeah, and I'm probably am right here with Glenn Ashley. He's developing nicely in the limited time that he has, and he hasn't necessarily been pressed into position where we've had to put him out there and say, okay, let's really find out what we have in Jade Barron
Do you
as of
see him
yet.
starting next year?
I don't know, man. Right now, I'm going to give a grade of probably about a C plus on him, though. I think he has the potential to go out there and start, but he's still got all those guys in front of him. I mean, I'd like to think that we could bring a lot of the same crew back, and if we bring a lot of the same crew back, then I think he still is you know being that fourth option, that dime option
Are
that comes out
you
on
in
the field.
favor of not paying Jaquan to
No, I like
start?
Shaquan.
And that's where
But
I'm
I
at
want to get
too.
your thoughts on running back RJ Harvey, second round pick, running back. Like we were talking about running backs. I don't know how much time we'll have to get through all of this and also bring on Kenny. So, your thoughts on RJ Harvey, real quick.
C as a runner, D. Pass catcher probably B, but overall C.
Hmm. Glenn comes, or I'm sorry, Glenn. Phil comes in with a B on RJ Harvey. I was hot on RJ Harvey, but I'll be honest, RJ Harvey is kind of a disappointment for me. I'd be lucky to give him probably a C, maybe C minus type of grade. I thought that he would be a lot more influential on this roster, and quite honestly, running backs should be a lot more influential on your roster quickly. I think he has a lot of work in front of him, and for being a second round draft pick, I'm excited to see what he maybe could develop in year two. But I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time or resources waiting for him to come around.
I just
Are,
didn't realize how bad he was running between the tackles.
yeah, like I said, lots to see where he develops towards. I mean, I'm not going to give up on him quite yet. I don't think that what he showed on tape is what he wants to show on tape, and I think that you can at least give everybody an opportunity to correct themselves within 1 year. Harvey gets a B minus from Paul, a C from Roy Osborne, a C also from Michael Ronquillo. Glenn's, though, maybe an outlier. RJ gets an A. He was picked to supplement Dobbins. He started to play. Really started to find his lanes. Then Sean Payton closed the playbook and was good against the Bills in his opinion as well. I want to get to Pat Bryant, though, at least get your thoughts on Pat Bryant, third round pick. Pat Bryant, wide receiver, is a place that we could use some help, it looks like, from time to time. How much help did Pat Bryant bring to this team?
I think he was a solid B. I mean, he's great in pass blocking, goes over the middle, makes good catches. Just wasn't utilized enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the season, I'm a little worried. Is he starting to get injury prone? 2 concussions in 4 weeks, and then left the last game early with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, the injuries are a little bit concerning. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna still give him like a probably a B minus type of grade. Pat Bryant, for what he did when he is out there, I think his ability to go over the middle, his catching ability. I mean, obviously, we need to make sure he's right and get the concussions under control if we want to have any long term, uh, you know, availability for Pat Bryant. But Pat Bryant, I think, brought a different edge, and no block, no rock was big. I think for the mentality of this team and what was needed in order to get things done. I don't know. I want to skip ahead. I'm just going to give you one more, man. What'd you think about Jeremy Crawshaw coming in as a sixth round pick for us? A lot of well, let's just put it this way: not a whole lot of kickers and punters get even drafted. We went out in the sixth round and get Jeremy Crawshaw. Feel good about that pick overall.
Well, I think from the way training camp started to everyone's saying, when are we bringing in another punter to the way it finished? I
Ain't that the truth?
mean, he turned field position around multiple times in games, and I think Denver was third in the league in punts. So, other than the Raiders game, I thought he was incredible this year.
Mm.
Really,
Yeah, I mean, really, an overall a fantastic season, and did what me and Kenny Kirkpatrick really wanted to see. Got that corner coffin kick all nailed in, and man, just absolutely love what we got in Jeremy Crawshaw. I think in the Mile High City, there's probably well, I think it's the city that special teams probably needs to be valued more than any other town or city. You can flip the field so much, you can get long field goals, the whole 9 yards. If you put some, I don't know, just some focus on special teams, it's amazing.
look
Crawdaddy
how
gets an A minus.
just look how important it was in the Buffalo game. You go 3-and-out to start overtime, and he nails that corner kick. And I mean, you shank it or you do something there, you probably let Buffalo get in field goal range, and you probably lose that game.
Very true. Very true. No shanking here, though, man. I'm going to bring him in. Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. He's finally here. Welcome to the show, my friend. We've been talking all night about coaches and free agents and draft picks, and now we get to talk to our good friend Kenny Kirkpatrick. He has something else on the agenda. But first off and foremost, Kenny, hello, welcome, man, and thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you, Keith. Jody, great to see you guys. Posse, great to see you. Great show. Unfortunate show, but it was a great show. You wish you were talking about Super Bowl and not the off season, but the off season's here. And thank you for bringing me on, because I wanted to talk about the Senior Bowl real quick, which is Saturday, and some draft prospects, not necessarily in the first round, but some players. If you feel like watching football on Saturday, Posse and Keith and Jody, I got a couple names for you to look out for. And
Kenny,
I did this only, I did
Patrick,
only a
thank you.
couple positions. First position is the only position on defense that I want people to look out for is linebacker. Don't know if Alex Singleton's coming back. You all mentioned Dre Greenlaw's injuries. I got two linebackers for you to watch. First is going to be, could be late first round pick material, Broncos where they're picking, or could slip into the second round, depending on how teams are looking at him. Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker out of Texas Tech, Keith and Jody, Posse. 7 forced fumbles last year, an interception, and sixth in the Heisman Trophy voting, over 128, had 128 tackles to add to that. I think on Texas Tech's defense, they were elite. I think this kid's got a really good chance to be a solid day 2 pick, maybe in line for the Broncos if they want to maybe move up. But I got a deep sleeper. I watched a practice today. And if you got nothing to do during the daytime, NFL Network and ESPNU show the Senior Bowl practices. They had their drills today. And a guy that stood out was Xavier Sorey, a linebacker out of Arkansas. Stats don't alarm me, but he was a little hurt last year. Played on a 2-10 team in the SEC. I call it the best 2-10 team you'll ever see. I think there's 6 Arkansas guys, and I got a couple more to watch out for as well. But a tackling, an interception. He had an interception, 2.5 sacks, 36 solo tackles. Today, interception, and was in on every single play on the drills that I saw them do. So name to watch out for as a deep sleeper in late day 2, or day 3 pick, Xavier Sorey. I want to move to the offensive side of the ball, Keith, and I'm going to go. Hey, let's not sugarcoat it. Tight end was weak this year, so let's talk about the tight ends. I got 2 names for everybody to watch, because I don't think Evan Ingram's coming back. I'm not worried about that $12 million. Were they worried about Russell Wilson's dead cap money? I'm not worried about $12 million if you release Evan Ingram. Name that I like a lot, Justin Joly, NC State tight end. He fits the Harold Fannin type of tight end, the receiving tight end. That's what I think the Broncos need. You got Adam Trotman, you got Atkins, you got tight ends that can block. Give me a receiving tight end. 3-year starter at NC State. 49 receptions, 43 receptions, 56 receptions. The yardage wasn't there. Quarterback play wasn't the greatest, but he did have 7 touchdowns last year and 4 and 2 the years before that, with around 500 to 600 yards each of those 3 years. And the other tight end, this kid out of Stanford, I think this could be a day 3 sleeper, Sam Roush. Again, poor quarterback play hurt him. 2-year starter, 545 yards, 335 yards, 2 touchdowns, 50 receptions, and 40 receptions over there at Stanford. And then the last group, Jake, you guys talked about it just a couple minutes ago, J.K. Dobbins. If he's back, I'm not counting out that the Broncos still draft a running back in this draft. I'm not saying round 1, Jeremiah Love's going to be way off the board, but a day 2, maybe a day 3 pick. Best teams in football have 2 good running backs. The Lions with Montgomery and Gibbs, the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. The Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Charbonnet got hurt, but it was Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. Trevion Henderson, who was drafted last year with Stevenson. RJ Harvey, the speed guy. I got a couple running backs for you to watch. National champions, Indiana, Kalon Black, 186 carries, 1,040 yards, 10 touchdowns, 421 yards in receiving, and 46 catches. You want a bigger back? Jody likes that Audric Estime type. Give me Caton Allen from Penn State. 6 foot, 217-pound, powerful runner. Lacks the receiving skills, but you got RJ Harvey for that. 210 carries, 1,303 yards, 15 touchdowns, averaged almost 7 yards a carry. Give me that type of back for the Broncos. And the last one's a day 3 sleeper, Mike Washington, again from Arkansas. Watching him at the Senior Bowl practice today, looked pretty good catching the ball out of the backfield and making some run plays. He's 6 foot, 228. Strength and size give him a very high ceiling. If he can have a nice Senior Bowl combine, this could be a name to watch out. He had 1,070 yards, 8 touchdowns with a 6.4 yard to carry, and he had 226 yards in the air, 28 receptions. So again, maybe a double threat. Maybe J.K. Dobbins does come back. Maybe he doesn't come back. Those are 3 positions, Keith, that I wanted to get out before the show ended. I know you're short on time, so I did that really quick with everybody. Go back and listen if you didn't catch what I said, and those are some names I think that could be in play for the Broncos come draft. When we do our Pick is the End draft show, year 3 this year, we might be calling some of those names that I called out on the Senior Bowl.
Senior Bowl this Saturday. Big names to watch out for. Glenn Ashley is wondering if you have any thoughts on Jam Miller out of Bama, and just Graham coming in saying Kenny has done his homework over on YouTube. By the way, also Pearl finally checking in with us. Pearl, you missed me talking all about you being out in Loveland at the Ultimate Garage Sale this weekend. So sorry if you missed that, but good to see you. Saying hello, Pearl, as well. Any thoughts on Jam Miller?
Yeah, Jam Miller and Jonah Coleman, both also names to watch out for. I love that everybody has different names. So I'm going to write those names down too. Jam Miller's good there, Glenn. I think that could be in play for the Broncos too. Of course, played on a powerful Alabama team, so played against elite talent. And Jonah Coleman out of Washington, I know Roy said that yesterday on the Juice as well. And definitely a name to watch out for too. So definitely, everybody keep those names written down, because, it's always fun when you pick a name that the Broncos draft. And these are all names that definitely could be in play. Definitely names. I just wrote those 2 names down. I had Coleman written down. I just wrote Jam Miller to watch out for him as well there, Glenn. Good call outs, Glenn and Roy.
Awesome. Well, awesome for you to come in here. Good call out for you coming in here. Kenny came in the back chat and he says, man, the Senior Bowl is this weekend, man. We got to talk some prospects. We'll be talking prospects all year long now, man. It's what it's all about. We'll be talking prospects in free agency. We'll be talking prospects in the draft. We'll be talking a lot of different coaching changes and offensive coordinators as the Broncos get themselves in position and potentially lose some of those key pieces along the way. It's been a jam-packed show. Jody, I got to get to you, man. I know that Kenny took the last 10 minutes. He ran with it with some prospects, kept you off the mic. It probably killed you, my friend. But no, in all honesty, man, I appreciate you coming in here and sharing the mic with me tonight and going over a lot of what's going on this offseason. But some final thoughts from you.
Just looking back at the season, how fun it was, incredible. Where you went from 10-7 to 14-3. You're a hurt quarterback away from playing in the Super Bowl with what I've said is one of the worst wide receiver rooms in football, probably the worst running back room in football, probably the worst tight end room in football. So, I mean, and some takeaways. Penner said today, I mean, they're going to be somewhat aggressive in getting playmakers. They've got to. Sean Payton brought it up specifically. The drop passes are the massive problem, and I mean, their wide receivers coach was fired because of it. And they said running back is going to be, this run game is going to be, he's said he's already been in Zach Strief's office. It's the number one priority. You've got to find whether he's a 3-down running back here, you got to find a 3-down running back, and you got to find a legit running back. I've said what I would do. I don't think they'll make the move to go get Jeremiah Love, but you've got to find somebody that can take pressure off of Bo when he's your leading rusher, and a big playoff game. That's not going to cut it.
Looking forward to the offseason moves. Go ahead,
man. And just excited to see what they do with moves. Finally, the rest is deals off the books. We can officially stop talking about Russell Wilson here, unless Sean Payton wants to, make a joke every once in a while. But it's finally over with, and I'm excited for where this goes. I mean, there's going to be some interesting people: Alex Singleton, John Franklin Myers. What do they do with those guys? But we have some money to spend, and I think this is a year that they finally go do it on offense.
Appreciate that, man. Lots and lots and lots of off season that we'll be getting into, and Jody alluded to a ton of it right there and some closing thoughts. I'm going to get Kenny is going to get the question from Pearl as well as some closing thoughts from him. Outside perspective, Kenny, Pearl wants to know, will the Broncos trade up in this upcoming draft?
Yes, Ms. Pearl. Thank you for the question. It's a great question. I think there's one player in this upcoming draft right now, and I saw Michael allude to it because, yes, I did just mention 2 tight ends that could be sleepers, but I think there's only one this year that's a first-round draft pick, and that's the Oregon tight end, Kenyon Sadiq. If he falls back a little bit into the 20s, when few picks before the Broncos are picking, that would be the guy. Jody just said, terrible tight end room. That's your Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren combo. 2 for 1 there. A little bit of both in him. And you can get him by moving up just a few picks. I would do it. That's the only player I would go for, Miss Pearl, in this upcoming draft right now. But maybe a month from now things change. But right now, keep an eye out for Kenyon Sadiq. He's not playing in the Senior Bowl. He's a first-round talent. He's not playing in the Senior Bowl, but a name to watch at the Combine for the Broncos.
And some final thoughts, my friend.
Final thoughts. Thank you for having me on. Pleasure to be on. Short at the end. Great to see everybody in the posse, and I'm braving the elements over here. It's in the single digits tonight, and that's unusual for Maryland. I used to live in New York, so New Jersey, but down here in Maryland, we're not used to it. So it's a bunch of ice, but we're braving it. And have a good week, everybody. We'll see everybody next week. By the way, Patrick, amazing yesterday on the Juice. I got to see a little bit of Hawaii in the background as he was driving home doing the show with me. That was a pleasure to see that. So it was nice.
Yeah, got to check out all our shows here on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We have the Juice that goes live 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Mountain Standard Time. Of course, you're watching the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast right here on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then we come back again on Saturday, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And who knows what this offseason is going to bring as news comes in and we have breaking podcasts and news flashes left, right, and otherwise. Of course, we're going to be getting all lined up for the big old Pick Us In draft show. It's going to be coming up sooner rather than later, and we'll be talking about prospects and everybody that's out there as possibilities to upgrade this Denver Bronco roundup, this Denver Bronco roster. I just want to again thank my host, my co-host this evening, Jody, the Judge Moncrief, coming in here, helping me navigate through all of this. Of course, my good friend Kenny Kirkpatrick coming in, and he's already well into prospects when it comes to the draft and beyond. So appreciate you coming in here. And of course, the posse, man, from Michael Ronquillo, who came in here dropping stars right off the bat, to everybody that was part of the conversation throughout the entire evening. Appreciate you. We try to get to every single comment tonight. You guys were all blowing it up. We appreciate that as well. Try to get to as many of you as possible, because that's what it's all about. Lots of love and appreciation as we head into this offseason, Broncos country, but we're going to get out here like we always do. Boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters, and of course, Denver Broncos in your heart. Till the next episode, we're out of here. Have a great week, everybody. Good night.